showtime.
It's about that time.
Let's go.
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah.
Powered by Lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix.
Give them that flavor.
All right, yes. We are back for another show. What's going on, you guys? What's going on to all the ladies and gentlemen out there that's doing the various things as you listening to this podcast? I am your host, Nova Phoenix on GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio, and I have my fellow co-host that's sitting right next to me and joining me as I talk. My cat, Paka Khan. What's up, Paka Khan? Yeah, he doesn't have much to say right now. he just plopped himself right next to me, on the desk, figuring he gonna listen in on the show just like how you guys listen in on it. So it's all good. When he's gonna vocalize, he will. And I tell you, man, my cat is super loud. I got a Bengal cat. And I love my cat. Here you go, jumping off right now. So I love my cat, but who knew that this dude has some pipes on him? I mean, this dude meows like crazy, and sometimes he meows like in the middle of the night. Like he'll get up like 4 o'clock and he'd be like, you know what? I just feel like meow. And it reminds me of back in the day when I used to watch Tom and Jerry on one of those cartoons. There will be a scene where the cat is meowing on the fence, and the neighbors, in the city, urban center or urban, setting, and all of a sudden you see a shoe come out of nowhere. Shut up! Yo, I never understood that. I understood it as a kid, like, okay, the cat's meowing late night, annoying people because of his meows. So you see the shoe come out of nowhere, and the cat fall off the fence. Of course, it was funny to me as a kid, but it didn't really set in, right? Every time my cat meows, this dude is super loud. Every time he meows, I think back on that scene as a kid. I'm like, now I understand. It makes sense because my cat is loud. My cat is loud, man. Not like meow, meow, meow. No. This dude is like Pavarotti. If when I meow, everybody's gonna hear me. Yes, man. And this dude gets this low rumble meow, like I don't know what that means translates to. He goes, I'm like, yo, what's going on? Yo, my cat is super loud, man. So I trick. This is the thing. If he sleeps all day, right? If he sleeps all day, I mean, he getting in a good sleep. They say, I think cats sleep for about 18 hours or whatever. I don't think my cat sleeps that long. But when he gets in like 6 to 7 hours straight of sleep, all right, on and off, and he's really in the zone, and then he gets up and he gets a good stretch. And if I'm not paying attention, or anyone in the household for that matter not paying attention, and he's sleeping somewhere and he gets up, yo, this dude is running around, especially if it's like 11:30, 11 o'clock at night, and like, damn, I let that go a couple times. This dude will be on a rampage. I right now, I got some dope blinds, where I'm at, and a lot of them are broken because of him. He never did this before in where I lived before, my previous address. But something gets in him where he starts to mess with the blinds. Like he'll take his paw and he'll drag the blinds down and he'll play with it and toy with it. And apparently my blinds are weak and he will break them. So when he is bored and he's fully rested, he gets into him where he's gonna jump on a windowsill right on the ledge and mess with the blinds. Yeah, I got 3 set of blinds, 3 of them that's broken. And I'm like, yo, cat, yo, man. And you know, I promised myself, I had a cat before. His name was Shade, beautiful cat. And I had to give him up. And I swore to myself, because I stayed with my mother for a little bit, right, to see some ends or whatever. So I gave him my cat. This was a long time ago. Oh my God, I had to give him right back, because my mother thinks cats are like overgrown rats. So I couldn't keep my cat. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Gave him my cat. And you know what? I vowed after I left, the fam left, and I vowed that I will never give up my pet again. It doesn't matter whatever the situation is, my pet has come with me. Got another cat, got a Bengal cat, beautiful cat. It's a mix. It's a snow leopard and a domesticated cat. I think he's like 4th, 5th generation now, so he's not too wild. He's pretty domesticated, but he still got a wild streak to him. He's still got a wild streak. He's very athletic, bounces over walls. When he was much younger, I think he's like 4 years old now. When he was like about 2 years ago, he'd be bouncing over walls. He doesn't do that as much now. I think he's kind of used to it, but he does get into him at times where he just be running around, and then he'd be meow, 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 yo. Anyway, love the cat. And there are times where I'd be like, yo, should I get rid of you? Because when you getting into some sleep and in the 4 in the morning, you hear nothing but loud ass meowing. Yo, it crosses the mind. Should I get rid of this mofo? But, you know, I'm not going to get rid of this dude. He's sticking with me. Baka Khan, he's sticking with me. He ain't going nowhere. But God damn it. Yo, anyway, so let's get started with the show, man, with a couple topics that I grabbed onto, and hopefully you can carry on the conversation when you go about your business after the show's done. All right, so let's get started. So hopefully, the first thing that comes to mind, has anybody seen the Verzuz? Has anybody seen Verzuz? Yes, Verzuz. Yeah, yes. So I got the Triller thing, right? So he has Timbaland and Swizz got to deal with Triller to broadcast any future Verzuz shows on the app, the TV app, which of course I got. But yo, it was legendary, man. I mean, there's no words to say, you know, seeing Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One, legendary. That's all I can think of, man. I mean, this was for the culture, and big ups again to Swizz and to Timbaland for really putting this together, because hip hop needed this. And, you know, for the people to recognize who came before them and set this global force we known as hip hop forward at the time. Everyone that was around that came after them was influenced by KRS-One and by Big Daddy Kane, and it's like the domino effect. They came out, they wanted to add on and contribute to hip hop culture, and every one of those individuals that saw them. So every generation, every moment, every space of innovation and rhythm and rhyme that came prior to what we know as hip hop today, you know, we gotta give it up to Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One. Love these two artists to this day, man. Everything that they've it's unbelievable, man. The music that they came out with, the memories. As I said before, KRS-One was like the real time, that moment where I fell in love with hip hop is when I saw KRS-One. And you know, Big Daddy Kane was in the mix too. So I was like I said, 10, around there, 11, 12, something like that. And they made they had a serious impact on me as a youth, listening to hip hop, and to see these gray-haired fellows really bringing out, you know, Das Effects came through, Buckshot Shorty from Duck Down, Nice and Smooth. Who else came out? Crazy Legs. They had a little, you know, breakdancing situation going on the old heads coming on. Yo, that was super dope, man. Like I said, this was for the culture, and it's good that they paid respects to the cats that came before. So again, I love Verzuz for really doing that, because we need to give flowers to the people that came before in the golden era. So I want to see more of that, and I'm looking forward to seeing more more of that. One thing that I did do, like I said before, we finally got that Triller thing, and it's wild that I saw on the comments on Verzuz that people were actually complaining. I don't know if these were bots. I don't know who these people were. They were actually complaining that they was like, oh my God, Verzuz is, it's not free no more. I gotta pay for it. Yo, they selling out. I'm like, yo, and not just selling out the word, but they had all types of criticisms to say, like, yo, why Verzuz shouldn't be actually selling. I'm like, yo, come on. Really? Yo, these same people that complaining pay for Netflix, they pay for Paramount Plus, they pay for, if in case the package HBO Max, they pay for Disney Plus, they pay for all these TV apps. And Netflix alone, what is it, $20 a month? $20. I know everybody got Netflix. Everybody got Netflix. If you got a TV, you got Netflix, and you could complain that they're actually asking for $3 a month. $3, and for the year, I think it was $30. Really? You gonna be complaining? Come on, don't give me that bullshit, all right? Please save me that, because if you're gonna go about the ways of paying for all these other apps, and I'm not just saying TV apps, you pay for software, you pay Apple for your iCloud $1, you pay something on a monthly basis consistently. So now they're making their ways. They got all these people. They came. They set this whole thing up during the pandemic when we were sheltering in, and they gave you entertainment while you had nothing else to do. Now that they've created this momentum, this movement with Verzuz and getting all these stars on here, and they're coming out. They came out for the love before. Give me a break with that BS, all right? Pay the $3, pay the $30, and if you don't want to, shut up. I don't want to hear it. It's crazy, man. Some people always got to complain about something. And here it is, you making other companies, mega corporations, where they're making hundreds of millions of dollars off your ass, even with music streaming. Because I know you music stream, let's not get it twisted. We already did the calculations and the mathematics on what Spotify and all these other music streaming portals are doing. And you do it, and you pay for it. And you know what? Artists get the short end of the stick when it comes to music streaming. You heard it here before on this show. So I don't want to hear nothing now that we have two artists that created a live event streaming platform, where now they're getting all the golden age hip hoppers and the new age dudes and everywhere in between. And now they're asking you for $3 a month. Please, man, save that complaining for somebody else, man. I don't want to hear that trash. Yeah, so the next thing is, like I said, folks, that I said before, I was going to get a couple of nonprofit organizations in order to help Haiti during their time, during this recent earthquake, and everything that happened with the immigrants trying to come over. And there's the couple of organizations that I found online that are definitely you should check out. One is called CARE, CARE. Another one is Haiti Community Trust. And please look out, Google it. I'm telling you something. Do your do your own research and check them out. Capricare Inc. Excuse me. Got an itch in my throat. CAPRA Care Inc. Hope for Haiti and Partners in Health. Check those organizations out when you definitely want to throw some money their way, get some information, and contribute to the efforts of what's happening on the ground in Haiti. A couple other organizations is Focal, FOKAL. This one is in French, in Creole, is Nos Petits Frères et Sœurs. That was something. I'm sorry for butchering that. It's NOS Petit PET. What? It's, French. My bad. See, my wife it speaks French, so I had to ask her, and she said it, but I forgot the pronunciation. So Nos NOS Petit PETITS Frères FRERE, huh? Nos Petits Frères et Sœurs, right? It's what it's Okay, ETSOEURS. The last two, yeah. My bad, I butchered that. Something awful. So, yes, no petit. Yeah. Sorry, folks. Check that out. I'll spell it in one more time. NOS space PETITS space FRERES space ET space SOEURS. So all the French speakers, please do me a favor and write that down and look that up. Grown in Haiti is another one. Haiti communauté. Communauté, that's another French word. Of course, it means community. I see where that goes. Haiti Ocean Project, Groupe de Support contre le Cancer, and anything dealing with cancer in Haiti. Poubelle Haiti, as POUBELAYITI, for the kids. There's another one, and CREPA is CREPHA. Those are a couple of organizations that you are dealing with any issues with what's going on in Haiti. You can check those out, Google it, and support financially, or as I said before, get information. Now, I said a couple of different organizations, and I want to make sure that people do your homework. Please don't take my word for it. Do your own research. See if they're legitimate. There's actually some two sites that you go to: Charity Navigator and GiveWell. Those are platforms that you can go to check the legitimacy of some of these nonprofits. Some of them might not be good, they might not be on there. That doesn't mean they're not legitimate, but at least to give you some added tools to figure out, where it is. If they're not, this is how I see it. If you want to check the legitimacy of a particular nonprofit, to make sure they're legit, check their history, check their partnerships with other organizations they've worked with in the past. Talk with people on the ground. If you're Haitian, or people that are Haitian that has family over there, and communicate, get on the horn, see if you could talk with them on the ground and see what organizations are doing work legitimately. See if they had constructive progress in the areas that they said they've worked on. That's the other key thing. So if they're saying they build housing in Haiti because of the earthquake, how many homes have they built? 15, 20. If it's providing food, how many families have they fed? Speak to the people on the ground. Make sure if you donate financially that you get receipts. They said that a big thing as far as fraud when it comes to donating, some certain fraudulent organizations will ask you to donate, especially when it comes to cash, gift card, or wire transfers. That's hard to track. So if you do donate, other than that, they said it's best to give check or a credit card. Who does checks? Everybody does credit card, and make sure you get a receipt. Yeah, at least you know that the money, you have something concrete in your hand to say that you've made a donation of this amount at this time. So do your research. There's a lot of organizations that are front organizations that are there just to take advantage of people trying to give, and some of them are going to be, they're coming out of nowhere. Again, that doesn't mean if they come out of nowhere they're illegitimate. You got to do the work. But if you see an organization, nonprofit, that just popped up in the last 2 or 3 months, of course it makes sense that you got to do research. Also, if it is a huge organization, you still want to do backgrounds on them, because unfortunately there are a lot of shady characters that have a lot of money. They've gotten people together from certain specific places that are legitimate, but they're trying to run a scam. So you can have a well-known name with a bright face on a camera with a microphone in his face or her face, and say, hey, yeah, we're gonna donate to Haiti. Boom, boom, boom. You're like, oh wow, they're legitimate. They got certain people behind them, celebrity faces or whatever the case may be, and it may not be legit. And I say that, and I'll keep saying it. American Red Cross, they got close to $1 billion, and they built 3 homes. I'm like, and they said it was because of overhead. That's why I'm saying be careful, even for the large organizations that are quote unquote legitimate, because you don't know how that money could get swallowed up with them. So check those organizations out. Do your homework, call people, see what they're doing, what progress they made, get a receipt from the donation you made, and follow up, man. Yeah, definitely. And check them out and stay connected with them. If they got an IG account, Twitter, whatever, follow them, see what they're doing. Stay connected with them. Yeah, so that's what's up. The next thing. So as far as the fight, everybody knows what happened with the fight with Deontay Wilder versus Fury. And, I saw an article that was online. Matter of fact, I think I saw it through maybe on Twitter, actually. And it was an article that said that there was some issues going on with Deontay Wilder, that his old training coach. Let me see his old training coach, Deontay Wilder. And it was basically saying the old training coach was saying that he was going to drop dime. And he's a famous boxer too, man. He left in the second Fury fight. Oh, man, what was his name? Breland? Yeah, Mark Breland. All right, so so Mark Breland basically let it out that, he dropped Deontay in the second fight. He actually said that Deontay was uncoachable. Amazing. Again, everybody that watches boxing, whether you're professional or you're not, for the fans, knew there was something kind of crazy or weird about what was happening. And then I was very taken back, especially by when Fury went to his corner, was trying to talk to him, and he was like, nah, I ain't talking to you. So I'm like, yo, bro, you lost fair and square. It was a draw in the first one, and you lost twice in the other two follow-ups. Yo, you got bested. Shake his hand. Just be a better person. Be like, all right, you got me. It is what it is. But then after me seeing that, I was like, damn, man, that's just bad form. If you took a loss and he definitely got you in the second one, just man up and be like, yo, you got me, bro. And figure out what your next move is going to be. Whether you're going to, Deontay was 35 now, and that's up there in age. He had a long career, and he had a great career. Don't get me wrong. He definitely had some triumphs, and he was doing his thing back in the day. And not even back in the day, his previous fights. He definitely had his day in the sun. But he lost to Fury fair and square. He beat you the first time in the second match, and then you did a follow-up and he beat you again. Just take your L, bro. Just take your L. You know what I mean? Take it like a champ. But it just, I was very like, I was trying to, of course, I always try to peel back the layers on this whole thing. I'm like, damn, this dude, he acting like that. And then to find out that, Mark Breland had some words to say about Deontay, I'm like, that's why. And it was just not his attitude after he lost, but just the performance in general that I was like, huh? I what? I was curious. And then, talking to my brother, I'm like, yo, he gassed out quick. He gassed out like in the third round, fourth round. And I knew from that, at that point in the fourth round, there was no real strategy. He was already, loosey-goosey. He was clodding along. It was a matter of time when he was going to get knocked out. You know what I mean? It's only a matter of time. And, I was sitting back and I was reading the article and I was thinking, and you know how I do, folks, right? And, this is nothing new. This is not something that's unique to Deontay. A lot of fighters are like that, man. A lot of fighters are like that. And I kind of use Deontay as kind of like an analogy to America in a lot of ways. Deontay Wilder and America share the same characteristics. And I kind of like brought it down, and I basically broke it down to like 4 things. Because I said basically after I read the article and I was looking up with his past trainer, what he was saying, and what other professionals were saying within the boxing family and pretty much what happened with Deontay. And I broke it down to 4 things, and I'm like, pretty much it's kind of like goes hand in hand with what we're currently going through in this country. And there's a lot of ego, man. Deontay Wilder is big on ego. Now, is ego, again, something that's unique just to Deontay? Nah, a lot of boxers have ego. They knock out some dudes. You know, they got the lights and the camera and the accolades and the people patting them on their back and the crowd. It definitely is a drug that pumps up their ego. And Deontay had plenty of it. And to me, the ego got in his way. I think his wins inflated the idea of himself. Even though he came from a lot of wins, like I said, it only continued to cloud his judgment on his fighting capabilities, on his strategy. And so much so, it made him open to a fighter with a better fighting skill, a better fighting strategy. This is what caused Deontay to fail. Ego. It clouded his judgment on everything that he did when it came to him practicing, when it came to what the actual fight. And America is in a lot of ways has big ego in all of it, in all the things that is accomplished. Now I'm going to remove slavery. Let's remove the transatlantic slave trade. Let's put that aside for right now. I mean, everything past that. America's ego puts America in a crazy situation. It won many battles in the past, right? All the battles that we know, the world wars, all that. But along the way, as it built its wealth and its recognition as the supreme superpower around the world, eventually ego, or as what we call American exceptionalism, has gotten to America. I mean, the words that's been tossed around by politicians many a time on news shows, and, you know, American exceptionalism being that it's unique in, you know, America's creation, its social order, its values, it's better than a lot of countries, you know, in this social structure that we use in capitalism, it's the best thing since sliced bread. Communism is bad, socialism is bad, what do you call it, Marxists and all these people that are socialists, everybody's labeled as socialist, and the way they throw out socialists is like a curse word, right? But even believing in this illusion as what they call American exceptionalism, it gave America a false idea of itself. And this idea blinds America from its own shortcomings, its inability to become better in everything, in business, and how it treats its citizens, to what it does in its American, say, foreign policy. Ego. I think the next thing that Deontay definitely a characteristic that he has is he's a waste of a natural talent. Waste of a natural talent, man. Where he could have followed in the footsteps of, say, Mayweather with an unblemished record. As much as Mayweather talks crap, as much as he talks crap, Mayweather trains. That dude trained. He throws money at the camera. He's a money Mayweather. He talks business, whoever he's talking about. But at the end of the day, when you go see him in the gym, he is working. So he's like 90%, I should say like more like 95% work, because you got to back it up. If you're going to talk trash, you got to back it up. He's 95% work and 5% trash talking. But then, you know, of course, the trickery of the cameras and you know, the media, it makes it seem like he's all hot air and smoke. But no, the dude is, as an athlete, as a boxer, he's exceptional. Let's use that word. He's a great. He's one of the greats when it comes to being in the ring. So he didn't waste his natural talent. But it to me, it also says another thing about talent and training. Hard work. Hard work will always beat talent, hands down. You can have a natural talent. You could be really good at what you do, whether it's singing or whatever you're a mathematician or whatever it is that you do, right? Sculpting, you can have a natural talent. But at the end of the day, what beats talent? Hard work. And you don't even have to be that great. Hard, consistent work. Every day you do your job. If you do it consistently every day and you're serious about it, that will always surpass talent. And Deontay is a waste of his natural talent. He's big, he's strong, he packs a punch, he's knocking out cats back in the day, just brawling with him. He's a natural brawler. He just throws his right hand, right? Knocks these dudes out. Like I say, he's had wins. However, he wastes it in the wins that he gets. Every time he won, he lost a little bit. What does that mean by that? Because every time he won, it fed his ego. And every time he won, he felt like all I need is what I have now. I don't need to do anything else. I got my size. I got my strength. And all I'm going to do is walk up in this ring in 3 or 4 minutes. In a minute and 30 seconds, I'm going to knock this dude out. I'm going to catch him in the 4th round. And they say in the article he missed training. He pushed off worthy advice. He didn't want to do the basics. He didn't want to, supposedly as they say, he didn't want to do his basic routines, jabs, whatever the routine was. He didn't want to do the jump rope. He didn't want to do none of that. You know what I mean? He didn't make the necessary changes to become a better boxer. And what happened? He lost to Fury. America is the same way. America has put himself in a position where they're the sole superpower through they're the biggest military, the Navy, the Army, the Air Force, all the sectors of the American military. It's big and it's strong, right? No other country can test America's mettle when it comes to war. You can't. Hands down, no country is going to face America when it comes to war. So it's in a particular position where they have this wealth, they have these walls, so to speak, they have the armaments, and with all this wealth and basically how they puffed out their chest to the rest of the world, and nobody really is a challenge anymore. America is in a unique position to be at the top of the hill. And when you're at the top of the hill, you want what's best for your country, right? And what is those natural talents that this country is wasting on? It's citizens. The natural talent is its citizens. It's people. And also the other people, other immigrants that come into this country. A natural talent. And all they have to do to improve that talent is go through education, through social programs to make sure they don't fall apart as they're trying to be better within their society, within their county, within their city limits. They're people. That's America's natural talent, when not just in the military, when it comes to the sciences, mathematics, pretty much STEM in that sense. Science, technology, education, math, right? Sharon. STEM, that's STEM, right? Science, technology, education. What's E? All right. So, and when it comes to STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And they pretty much say that America is like the brain drain to the rest of the world. So because it has all of the wealth, a majority of the wealth, it brings in people, right? People want money, so they get the best minds, because the best minds say, hey, man, if I do this, I can get X amount of dollars. Now, they say even with Canada, right? A lot of doctors in Canada, but a lot of the Canadian doctors leave for America because America pays more in the field. But America has this thing by not being more equitable with its resources. Not just as far as black people in this country and POCs, but it also does it with his white citizenry. That we have a continuous problem with the poor, with the growing wealth gap between black families and white families. with education. Even if you get education, you have to deal with the fact that you're going to owe $100,000 after you graduate after 4 years. They're wasting their natural talent. Yeah, of course, you're going to beat another country. You're going to do whatever you're going to do. You're going to posture yourselves, and you have nuclear weapons and all that. And of course, no other country wants to go the nuclear route. We're going to blow ourselves to smithereens. But now once you have taken that position, what do? You look inward to improve the society that you're defending. And it wastes its talent. So right now we have other countries that is outpacing America in a lot of these STEM fields. And you have a lot of uneducated people that are pretty much trying to put two pennies together in order to live. And we have a growing, we have a housing problem. We're growing, oh my God, I forgot, homeless, excuse me. I forgot the word. I'm trying to get the word. A homeless problem in LA, a homeless problem in New York, a homeless problem in a lot of different cities. Wasting natural talent. And it puts America at a disadvantage in the long run. Because when you only give to a small chosen few, you miss out on all the other benefits and gifts and abilities, natural abilities that you can take advantage of from the citizenry that lives within your borders. That can, in a lot of ways, affect the economy. Those things are tied together, because when you have an educated class and they're contributing to those STEM sectors, they're going to create new innovations, which eventually these innovations can be put into the business market. All of a sudden, you're selling some product. I'm just saying, right? There's a whole sector of people, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people that are not getting what they need in order to have the best quality life that they can have. And now you're dealing with the poor, you're dealing with crime, you're dealing with domestic abuse in homes. And you're wondering why, what's going on? Waste of natural talent. What's the other problem? Failure to learn from its mistakes. See, when you're a boxer and you're in that ring, the whole game, as they say, is to hit and not get hit. But you're going to get hit, right? You're going to take those lumps literally, right? And figuratively. You're going to go in there with a massive plan. Okay, I'm going to go like this. I'm going to slip this dude. Now, bop, bop, bop. I'm going to come with that jab, cross, a hook, undercut, uppercut, right? Force him against the corner. That's how I'm going to weigh him down. I'm going to pressure him. You know what I mean? But then sometimes the plan don't work out like that, but that's where you have to adjust, right? You have to learn from your mistakes. Even when you lose, you have to take that whole situation, those 4 rounds, those 5 rounds, or however long you lasted in the ring, you have to be like, damn, I got to review that tape and see where I messed up. Because the only way I'm going to get better as a fighter is if I watch what I did wrong and I have to improve on it. Where did I go wrong? This is why Deontay lost to Fury. Fury got the right trainer. Unfortunately, Deontay, he got rid of his Mark Breland. He took on another trainer, and I'm sure, I forgot the dude's name. I said on the last show, he was the nephew to Emmanuel. You know who I'm talking about. I'm sure he was a tight trainer, you know, but it's all on what you absorb, what you take in. And if you're a successful fighter, a lot of times, unfortunately, as I said with ego, you be like, yeah, I ain't doing that. I'm gonna do this. So even you could have a fantastic trainer, but if you're not willing to absorb and take those lessons to improve yourself, no matter how good you feel that you are, all of it it goes to a waste. For failure to learn from your mistakes. He didn't learn from the first one where he lost, that when it was a draw, and then he lost the second time. He was like, okay, where did I go wrong? Let me put my ego to the side and see how I can beat this dude. Right? He didn't follow the plan. He looked like he had a plan in the first, second round. He looked like it. But it also looked like he tossed it out. He tossed the baby out with the bathwater and was like, nah, I'm just gonna go with what I've been doing for a long time. He didn't humble himself. And he didn't stick with the plan. And he lost and it's not no disrespect to Fury. Fury is not like an exceptional looking fighter. He's not like a polished fighter. But what he did right was he worked hard and he had a plan and he stuck to it and he bested Deontay Wilder. So you don't have to be a superhero type boxer to beat your opponent. As long as you have a game plan and you stick to it. And he even fell twice. Fury, and he still got up and he continued on, and he had his passion and his drive and his will, and all he could see was the win, and he followed through. He learned from his mistakes. He was like, yo, I'm watching this dude. I am not in any way going to play myself. What you need for me to do, what coach, watch the tapes, what pattern am I going to use, what fighting pattern, what's the strategy I'm going to wait. Okay. Deontay didn't do that. He threw it to the wind. America's the same way, man. America, because it's not paying attention to their citizenry and educating them in STEM, because we're living in a 21st century. We're living in a new age, a new era, the digital era. We have to educate the masses in the STEM sectors and all the business, all the business markets that's connected to that. How do we make and that's just not business, but how do we make society better based on the people that we educate? America's not learning from its mistakes. That's why it's falling behind in a lot of different ways. That's why when it was an article, I spoke about it before, they want to introduce a new railway system. They're stealing. I'm like, wait a second. There's no bullet trains. There's no maglev trains. I mean, Japan is doing it. China's doing it. I think I forgot what European country is doing it. I think the UK. I think they're doing it. What's going on? Here's an opportunity where we can revolutionize our transportation system and also build jobs, get people work in this country, which is a problem. But we're still dealing with metal on metal. What? America's not learning from its mistakes. It's not learning from its mistakes when it comes to the economy. And what was needed to, we have all these people with PhDs and masters and all that, economists, and we still seem to be dealing with us. I can't say a sluggish economy, but in ways where they're talking about, we're in an overheated economy. And the only way to keep this economy running into the ground is to have the interest rates low. I mean, America's already dealing with massive debt, and this is where they're not learning from their mistakes. So how do we do this? How do we jumpstart the economy, but also be responsible in the debt that we're creating? Because we cannot throw all this weighted debt on the shoulders of the next generation. And then all of a sudden, you're going to take that college debt and compound that with the national debt and say, I don't know what we're going to do with this debt. We cannot borrow into success. We're not going to win by borrowing every step of the way. And in this debt-based society, as they say, that's how this country economy works, being a debt-based society. It's unsustainable because you can't compound your debt and kick the can down the road and more debt. As every administration we're dealing with, okay, we have to raise the debt ceiling. If we don't raise the debt ceiling, the government's going to shut down, and oh my God, and it's calamity, and it's like, oh my, the doom scenario. There are some issues when it comes to our economy, how we're dealing with our debt, where we're making our money, how we're dealing with educating the public. We have, based on what we have seen in the last 4 years, goes to show maybe they did it right, maybe they did it wrong, as far as how we're dealing with the education of the masses. You know what they say sometimes, They say, educate people just enough where they can keep the machine running, but you don't want to educate them too much where they start seeing the hoodwink that's happening to them, and then they're going to want to get out from underneath the boot. Just educate them just a little, but there's a problem with that. And it can backfire. I think America is creating its own Frankenstein because they're just feeding people with nonsense and rubbish and, well, if you're going to go to school, you're going to owe $100,000 and you're going to have a lot of angst, a lot of frustration, a lot of anger. Same situation where you're trying to handle a national crisis. I'm not going to say what it is, whatever. It doesn't matter, even if it's dealing with what we're dealing with. A national crisis, you're trying to get the information out to people. They're not properly educated and just going to go off on their own tangent. And you have people that's going to drink freaking Clorox bleach, thinking that's going to fix the situation. You have people like that. This is where America is not learning from its mistakes. And last but not least, I have to say, when he lost, the article said that Deontay, he has a thing for blaming others. He was talking about the gloves, the Fury's gloves is loaded, allegedly, right? I don't know. I think that's one of what they said. They were saying something was in the water that he was drinking. He wasn't this, it was that. He didn't take responsibility for his own actions. Instead of him really analyzing and checking what he may have done wrong, why did I lose a second time straight? Not just on a draw, but I got beat a second time. What can I improve? When you're not honest with yourself on what you're doing, you're going to repeat the same issue. You're going to repeat the same problem. And Deontay, when you blame others and really don't look from within, you will never know, you will never learn to become a better person in whatever that you're doing. Boxing is just an example. In anything, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be real and humble and say, okay, where did I go wrong? Okay, I gotta keep my hands to my, all right, cool. I gotta pace myself. Okay, cool. I shouldn't have stayed in the corner, let this dude weigh me down. Okay, cool. I can't keep on throwing those haymakers. It's just gonna drain me. Maybe I was working out too much and I bulked up and it ate up my energy. Oh man. And sometimes you gotta lick those wounds. You gotta be like, okay, cool. And when my next fight, I'm gonna learn. Deontay was, from what I read from the article, I'd be totally wrong. I'm just basing it on the article that I read. And from the talk of what happened with the fight, this is how I see it. And even when I was watching watching the fight for the very first time, all these things were coming into mind. And then this article only kind of like co-signed what I was thinking. I'm like, damn, well, hey. America is the same way. America, when it takes L's, when it takes serious L's, it really doesn't humble itself and say, okay, what can we do to improve America as a nation? But you know what this country does? It blames immigrants. It blames black people. It blames other POCs. It blames China. It blames Russia. It blames this particular person that was in the administration for 4 years. I'm just saying in general. I'm not saying any particular president. I'm not saying any particular president. Well, this is what happened. Well, maybe if they did this and ba. And now we're in a current situation when you're dealing with an economy that's running away with itself. You're dealing with homelessness. You're dealing with the uneducated. You're dealing with crime. You're dealing with corruption. You got to be honest with yourself. America got this far, right? They're the shining city on the hill, but it's one thing to get to that point. It's a whole other thing to maintain it. Who knows how long America is going to be standing around? Who knows? Civilizations come and go. Rome, Greece, China, Africa. The Incas, the Aztecs, everybody comes and goes, man. That's just the natural cycle of things. Civilizations are cyclical, right? They come and they go. But it's a matter of how long they last. Some last for 200 years, some last for 2,000. Let's keep it real. African civilization lasted 10, 12,000 years. It's the oldest civilization on this earth. And we haven't seen Africa in its glory since then. Africa is old. If the first people started in Africa, the first civilizations, the first modern humans, as we understand it, was in Africa. The first civilization was in Africa. Agriculture, astrology, astronomy, mathematics, architecture. Africa is old, and it had its time. That's the only way where you can see what it was in its greatness in its heyday to where it is today. It happens. Whether it's from an internal problem or an external problem, or both at the same time. It's the same thing with America. How long America is going to last? I have no idea. But I know if America doesn't take itself seriously, it's not going to last as long as even what? How long did Rome last? How long did Greece last? Right? You got another 100 years? Who knows? Eventually, it gets too big. Eventually, it gets too gluttonous. Eventually, it reaches too far, and then it falls in on itself. I'm just talking about civilizations in general. America is no different. So we may think another 1,000 years. Who knows? Who knows? Sometimes you grow too quick. There's a thing where this idea that, you know, if you grow too quick, you don't realize it. Like, for instance, for musicians, man, they got too big too quick. Their first album went 10 times platinum. And then this artist becomes, you know, insecure because now I'm like, wow, I got to beat that first record. What am I going to make to beat that first? And sometimes they fall apart. You know, it's the same thing. Too big, too quick. I don't know. That's how I see it as far as Deontay Wilder in America. It's just a thought that I had. Anyway, that was a long one. All right, so we're going to go. Yo, I had a situation with Bob's Furniture, man. Bob's Furniture, I'm going to keep it real, man. Bob's Furniture sucks, yo. Straight talk. Bob's Furniture sucks. If I haven't told y'all before, I'm telling y'all now, don't fuck with Bob's Furniture. It is trash. I bought a couch from there. I was like, you know what? I've seen Bob's Furniture. I've seen it, you know, on the commercials. You know what I mean? I've seen it around and on the radio. I'm like, okay, Bob's Furniture. Let me try it. Why not? You know, I'm not into spending an extravagant amount of money on furniture. You know, it's not that. Look, it's a couch. You want to make. I'm not saying you want to sit on a cardboard box, but you know, you don't want to spend too much. Too crazy, right? Now, mind you, my last couch lasted 10 years. 10 years my couch lasted, right? So I figured, okay, it's time to get a new couch, right? Me and my wife went down there, you know, Bob's Furniture, checking some stuff out. Bought some furniture, right? No problem. 6 months later, the damn arm break. You know, at the end of the couch, that joint break. And I just leaned on it. I didn't stand on it. I didn't do backflips. Nothing. All I did was just lean on it. I was standing up. I said, let me just lean on it. It happens, right? You lean on it. It broke. And then when I called the lady, I was like, hey, man, this couch broke. This woman was trying to tell me that it was my fault that the couch broke, the couch arm broke. I was like, yo, what? I said, yo, I had a couch before the one I bought at your corny ass store. That joint lasted me 10 years and I didn't even have to get rid of the joint. All I could have done was reupholster that bad boy. I could have had that couch for another 10. I was tight. I was like, hold on a second. Now, I'm telling you I had this conversation because I taped it. I recorded that bad boy. I was like, wait a second. Let me tape this. And I still got it on my phone. I was like, I got to get these words from this lady again. I said, what did you say? She said, all that, it was your fault. I was like, hell to the no. I want to speak to a manager. So long story short, they sent the dude out and he was like, he did something. I thought they was going to fix. He did something. Okay, you're going to get a new arm. I'm like, all right, bet, cool. So they come and fix the joint, right? They fixed it. So now the other thing is the joint. Now that the seats getting a little flat, I'm like, yo, damn, this joint's getting a little flat. You even call him again. My wife called him or whatever like that. They come down and be like, all right, you need some new cushions. It got kind of flat real quick, right? Cool, no problem. So then the call back was like, okay, when you gonna get this couch? They was like, okay, so you're gonna get a new cushion, the seated cushion, all right, not the one you rest back on with your back, the seated one. Okay, you're gonna get, okay, when is it supposed to come in? All right, so you'll get your seats December. What the hell with December? Wait, I gotta wait 2 goddamn months for a fucking a seat cushion? 2 months? Yo. Yeah. Oh. December, what was second week? I don't even know. I don't give a goddamn. 2 months for a seat cushion? Yo, never again will I go Bob's Furniture. Never. I'm telling y'all, if you're going for a new couch, skip Bob's Furniture. They are a trash furniture chain. Trash. From that lady from the very beginning that was trying to tell me it was my fault. I was like, hold on. I had a couch for 10 years. I didn't have a problem with one single part of that couch. Not one single part. Here it is. I buy a couch from you and 5 months later the arm break and you gonna tell me it's my fault? Yo, you can imagine how tight I was on that phone. And as soon as she was hip to the game, she knew I was recording, and she was like, oh, "Okay, I'll pass you through to the magic." Boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know, boom, I'm getting my couch fixed. Cause she didn't want to be that person to be on YouTube on one of these damn social media sites. That thing go viral with Bob's Furniture, and all of a sudden it's her name with Bob's Furniture, and damn, she don't want to be one of those. So she was quick. Oh yeah, sure. Well, I'm gonna get you on the. All right, we're gonna get you in quick, fast. She got hip to the game. She knew what the hell I was doing. Could you please repeat that? So you said, I'm not gonna get another couch. Okay. And why am I not gonna? Yo, let me tell you something, man. Crazy business, man. Crazy. Bob's Furniture is corny. Trash. Don't get a single piece. Don't get a damn cushion, a love seat. Don't get nothing from them. Bob's Furniture is trash. And I'm not gonna tell you if it was a decent. If it was my fault, I would say. I'm like, yeah, damn, I fucked up, right? But that whole experience, man, I should have just went to Raymond Flanagan. I swear to you, man. I should have just spent the dough and went to Raymond Flanagan and just been done. Now I got this corny ass couch with me, and I know it definitely ain't gonna last 10 years like my last one. So I gotta go and spend another I'm gonna spend $2,000 on the next couch in the next year or so. Yo, man, upset, yo. Anyway. Woo! All right, so check this out. So there's going to be a museum that's opening. It's going to be called the Woodson Museum. It's going to be built in Florida. It's going to be the first new landmark museum on African American arts and African American arts, culture, history. 5-acre plot that was donated in St. Petersburg, Florida. It's going to cost a whopping $27 million, and it's going to be designed by a black architectural firm called Huff and Gooden Architects. Fantastic. They said that the museum started out initially on a smaller space, about 4,000 square feet. Now it's going to be on a 30,000 square foot facility, and it's still in its fundraising stages. So when is actually going to they're going to cut the ribbon to open up? I don't know, but I just hope. I can't say I hope. This is what I say. The people, if the word gets out, of course, about this museum being built, don't make it fluffy, man. Don't let them go on some wild, crazy run with whoever they're going to make the curator to get some bullshit on African American arts, culture, and history. Let's talk about real history. Now, I just don't have that much hope because I don't know who funded this new museum, this expansion, but it's important that the people get involved where they could talk about the real history. Let's talk about the Gullah people. Let's talk about the Maroons down there. The what was that battle? Damn, I forgot that battle. Let's talk about what's really going on in that part from back in the day, 300 years ago, up to now, to black inventors, black businessmen, all of that represent not just Florida, but America as a whole. 30,000 square feet is a lot of space. So they got to do right with that. Don't put no goddamn fluff. Like for instance, Brooklyn Museum. I haven't been to Brooklyn Museum in a while, right? So I went to Brooklyn Museum and I went, of course, to the African section area, and they had, oh my God, it was, I guess you can talk about, different African tribes and stuff like that. But there's one particular, and I'm not knocking it anyway, there's one particular African tribe where there's a courtship event between the men and women with this particular tribe. So the men dress up, they're the ones that put on the makeup and everything. So, and there's this how should I say, there's this oh my God, I guess they kind of bounce up and down, alternating. I think the men are in the line and the women are on the opposite side of them. So the men like open their eyes wide, and then I think they make noises or something like that, and it's alternating the men, and the women pick based on, I guess, how the men look and their performance, all right, when they were trying to pick a mate, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay, right? And for those that know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I forgot the drive, my bad. So in one way I found it, one side of me thought, oh, that's interesting, cool. That's culture, right? That's culture. But then at the same time, I didn't want to make it seem that Africa is just a bunch of people in the tribe doing things that may be interesting to the outside society or Western society. Oh my God. What I'm trying to say is, a lot of times we understand how Americans can be with American exceptionalism and ego and all that. And then also dealing with institutional racism, white supremacy, and then how do they see themselves, but how they see the rest of the world. And especially when it comes to Africa, they go on safari and all of a sudden people think that Africa is nothing but trees and hippos and rhinos and alligators. And I'm like, this is Africa. No. And it's not just how they see Africa when they go on these adventures, but how they see the people, the tribes. They don't see them as people. They see them, oh, they're just another sect or a branch of, I don't know, just like no different when they see rhinos. That's how they see other cultures, right? Other people. It's no different from them going on their little safari and seeing the giraffes or the freaking apes or something like that. So I'm like, there's so much more to Africa than that. As I said, Africa is old. There are a bunch of civilizations. There are old cities. Matter of fact, there's old Zimbabwe, where there's a city that I think it's back in the 7th century. I think. Let me see for a second. Let me see right quick. And that's something to talk about. Like, if you can find old cities in Greece, right, and then you can have archaeologists go down there and piece together the society and anthropology. Oh, they live like this. They use this pottery, and this is what their customs. You could do the same thing at old Zimbabwe city. Okay, it's called Great Zimbabwe. It's the name of a stone ruins of an ancient city near modern day Masvingo, Zimbabwe. Like, they don't have that in the Brooklyn Museum. That's fascinating. What was going on at that time where this city was built? But when you focus in on just a random custom of males courting women, now you're trying to make it seem like they're freaking birds or something like that. Like, this is the ego that I'm talking about. This is the racism I'm talking. This casual racism where you're just looking at Africa as if they're just another random animal on the Serengeti. So that's how I felt when I was in the Brooklyn Museum. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but that's just not Africa alone. So when you super focus on just this one tribe doing this unique mating ritual, you want to respect it for what it is as a group of people within Africa. These are what these particular people do. But at the same time, you don't want them to treat them like, some tribe, and this is all of Africa, and it's super fascinating, and it plays into their own white supremacy and racism, how they see other black cultures. Oh, this is what they do. Oh, this is so cool, right? I saw something where they was this guy. It was on I think I was watching the Disney Channel. On National Geographic is a part of Disney, and they had one guy that went to Africa, and he was talking to they were saying, oh, this is the only hunter-gatherer tribe in East Africa, and he's asking him like deep questions like, hey, what do you think of the moon? What do you think of the stars and the universe? And I'm like, why are you centering in on this small tribe? What are you trying? What do you want? What do you want him to say to you, right? So the guy and his son is just saying, hey man, we kill baboons, we kill other animals to eat. They're a hunter-gatherer tribe. They live one day at a time. So I'm like, and he's asking him all these questions. I'm like, okay, where are we going with this? What are we doing here? Does Africa, and it's the same thing what Dr. Ivy Van Sertima would say, like, why are these scientists going to these small tribes on the periphery of science of civilized society in a way? Excuse me if I'm saying it's wrong. Like every culture and ethnicity just has their pride of their society, of their nation, whether it was thousands of years ago up to now. And then you have the periphery. You have, tribes that just, go about their day, and they come up and they die. And then there are times through the expanse of human history where you'll have that small tribe grow and start to understand their sciences, and then they learn from each other, and then they have a written language, and the society becomes grander and what we know as ancient Egypt of today. It happens. The Mali Empire, the Songhai Empire, right? All of them have of course, the Library of Timbuktu. At some point, the society grew, the people grew and started to learn and amass knowledge. And from that knowledge, they created great societies. Let's focus on that. But when these Europeans, travelers go to Africa, they go to these small little tribes there's only like 8 people. And all of a sudden, this is the representative of the whole nation. It's like me going to Russia, and there are small tribes in Russia or little communities, right, in the ice up there that they still crap in the holes, in ice holes. It's like me trying to understand Russia, and I'm going to go over to these small communities. All of a sudden, they're representative of the entire history and society of Russia. That's doing a disservice to the Russian community, to the Russian nation. And of course, people will say, well, you can't, that's not representative of all Russia. Look, you got to go to Moscow. See the art, the culture, the dance, the food, the everything that makes Russia what it is as a great society that we see it as today. But no, you can't. You doing that with Africa. You going to these small little tribes. They're on the verge of straight up extinction. And this is Africa, right? So the same way with that man went to Africa, and he was talking to this small hunter-gatherer tribe, like the last on the whole continent, right? And asking them all these questions. It's the same thing when you have white folks going to the Serengeti and just seeing Africa as just a bunch of forested animals just running around there. Okay, we're done. We got to leave now. Like as if there's no people there. There's no science. There's no arts. There's no culture. There's nothing. It's just barren land, right? Just bush. So yeah. Anyway. So let's hope that this Woodson Museum has something of worth. Now, for African Americans here in this country, the history that is rarely told, that they could put on a pedestal, on display, but there has to be people that's going to challenge the curators of this Woodson Museum in Florida anyway. Yeah. So, all right. Well, so what's next on the list? And I'm just eating up this time. All right. So the last thing, I got a lot of other things to say, but the last thing I'm gonna say on a high note. Hey, anybody watch Squid Game? Oh man, probably not Squid Game. Let's move that over. I'll move to Squid Game a little later because it gets a little deep. Let's just say on a high note, I saw the trailers to The Batman played by Robert Pattinson. That drops March 4th, 2022. I saw the trailer for Flash by Ezra Miller. He's gonna play Flash. He's gonna have Michael Keaton Batman in there. I know people have seen it. If you haven't seen the little trailer yet, it's not like an official trailer, but Ezra Miller was like, yo, I'll give you this little piece. And it has, scenes as, woo. Yo, I can't wait to see that. That's going to be super dope. And then the Ghostbusters trailer, of course, is a throwback. The last Ghostbusters I do own. It had pretty much the SNL cast in there. I didn't think it was that dope, but this one I think is going to be super dope, and it's bringing back the original cast of Ghostbusters back in the 1980s. This one's dropping November 18th. I'm looking forward to it. And I like all these trailers. I saw all these trailers back to back. They just dropped these joints like a couple days ago, and I was really taken by the Batman trailer with Robert Pattinson. And I said with Robert Pattinson, I know I gave Ben Affleck a lot of beef. I know I gave him a lot of beef because he did that trash ass movie with Daredevil. And a lot of other people didn't agree with Ben Affleck, but when he came out, he was like, yo, he did dope. So when they said Robert Pattinson, I had my reservations about it, and I was like, he's a little scrawny to be Bruce Wayne, but it is year one or year two of Batman, young Batman. But when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, see, I didn't want to just throw down judgment on him. He looks pretty good. Robert Pattinson looks pretty damn good. And I'm looking forward to it. Please, no more Joker. No more Joker, please. I think we've seen enough Batman versus Joker. I mean, you have 1,000 other DC villains, Batman villains. You got the Croc. You have you did Bane, but Bane was more based on realism. It'd be dope if we got Bane that pumped up on his his human growth hormones. We got the Owl Society. We have oh my god, the one-eyed dude. I can't remember the one-eyed dude. He came up in the same secret society as Batman, Bruce Wayne. You have my Clayface. Yo, when they did the cartoon back in the day, everybody knows in the 1990s Batman, and they had the episodes with Clayface. I was like, yo, well, they have to bring that to the big screen. That's even better than Spider-Man Sandman. Clayface, because when you see that episode with Clayface, how the actor was distraught. Of course, he gets into this accident. He used this experimental facial cream or whatever, and he becomes, I think it was radioactive or something like that, and he becomes Clayface. And he's this man made out of clay. He could take the shape of anything. I think that would be so dope. I think it's cinematic, the way they fleshed out the character in the cartoon, the way they can add on to it. If they brought it to real, I think Clayface would be amazing. The Red Hood. You have so many characters. All right, enough with the Joker versus Batman. Let's try to explore some other villains, because I mean the writers that have contributed to DC, the Batman world, you do them a disservice when you keep on focusing on one villain, man. There's so many other great villains out there that Batman faced. It'll be great to see them on the big screen. And now they're doing the Riddler. You see what I'm talking about? I'm super interested. Not just the fact that I like Matt Reeves, the director, but the fact is they're doing some other villain right. The only time we've seen Riddler was Joel Schumacher. I think Joel Schumacher did the Riddler, right? Him and Two-Face. I hated it. It was trash. It was super campy. I hated it. But one of the shining gems in that Batman with what was it who played Batman? It was oh man, let me see. And his name is right on the tip of my tongue. Batman the Riddler with George Clooney, right? So George Clooney, I even though I like George Clooney a lot, I think he got a bad rap. He beats himself up by saying that he didn't do Bruce Wayne justice. I don't think it was George Clooney's fault, man. I think the vision, the idea of how they wanted to do Batman, I think it was Batman Forever. There you go, Batman Forever. It was done by Joel Schumacher, and it was coming off the tail of pretty much the original Batman with let me see, and he was a great director. Batman with Michael Keaton. Okay, I'm forgetting it. I was just talking about him the other day. The director of the original Batman, Tim Burton, great director. So I guess they wanted to take it away from Tim because he wanted to be. They were saying he was being too dark or something like that. So they decided to put it in Joel Schumacher's hands, and Joel Schumacher took it totally left. He made it super campy with neon and brightness, and it was just terrible movie. And no disrespect to Joel Schumacher, he passed away last year. Who knew? I didn't know. I was like, oh man. But hey, let's keep it real. Batman, the ones he did was just terrible, right? The only shining gem in Batman Forever was my man Jim Carrey playing the Riddler. Now they did the Riddler. I thought, strip away everything, the only character they got right was the Riddler and how they played him up. And Jim Carrey was the perfect actor at the time to play the Riddler. I was like, he's the Riddler. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better actor to play such an iconic DC character, DC Batman villain. And Two-Face was corny. I thought, no disrespect to Tommy Lee Jones, but I don't know where he was going with Two-Face. He basically saw the original Batman and played the Joker. That's who Two-Face was. He was like a Joker that had a split personality. You know what I mean? And I was like, I thought it was totally lazy. I thought it was totally lazy how they did the Two-Face. I was like, no. So didn't like Nicole Kidman. I liked Robin, the actor who played Robin. What was his name? Chris O'Donnell. I liked this, I liked it. I think, excuse me, it wasn't even George Clooney. My bad. I'm looking at the thing. It was Val Kilmer. My bad, y'all. It wasn't George Clooney in Batman Forever. It was Val Kilmer. And I wasn't even too crazy on Val Kilmer being Batman. And he's a great actor too, but I didn't like him. I didn't care much for him as Batman or Bruce Wayne. I thought George Clooney, to tell you the truth, was a better Batman, Bruce Wayne. Batman and Robin, it was George Clooney. So I think 97 was Batman and Robin. Batman Forever was 95. All right. So they gave him a sequel, Joel Schumacher, and Batman and Robin was very neonish. Yeah. So anyway, I think George Clooney he was just a rough gem in a mountain of dirt, and I think it was the wrong direction for the film for Batman and Robin. I think, especially now that we're talking about Batman and Robin, they had Arnold Schwarzenegger be, Mr. Freeze. Wrong direction for that. It was terrible. And I can't believe they funded it. And it was trash. It was a commercial failure, and rightfully so. And rightfully, both Batman and Robin and Batman Forever, and even they had Bane, matter of fact, in Batman and Robin. Bane was terrible. It was so cartoonish. And maybe he did it on purpose. He wanted kind of like a 60s kind of Batman back in the day when it was on TV. It just didn't do well. And everybody was like, where's Tim Burton? Where's Tim? And I guess he has some issues with the studio. And we haven't had a proper Batman until Christopher Nolan came around and did it right. And it was like, oh my God, yes. And yeah, so I treat Batman and Robin and Batman Forever as non-canon. I don't know what they were, just one-offs. And same way where I treat the last trilogy of Star Wars with that guy that did Star Wars with the Mary Sue and yeah. Anyway, That's it. All right, folks. There were some other things that I want to talk about here, but it's getting to be that time. I don't want to run on forever. It's almost like an hour and a half on this show, and I wanted to keep it short, at least within an hour. But anyways, whatever's whatever. So go to Lyfeblood.com. Please sign up, be a member, be a user, share $1 per month. I'm still working on these things. I'm still, rubbing my hands like Birdman, trying to get this thing going with the event. And I'm making some headway, some progress, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And I'm gonna contact some people this week and see what can happen. All right, folks. So stay tuned for more info. I'll keep you updated on everything that's happening. But please, in the meantime, please sign up to Lyfeblood.com, become a user, become a lifer, and we're going to keep building this and keep growing. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.
Yo, check it.
You just listened to GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com. For the global community.
We worldwide, baby.
See you in the next go-round. From right here to your town. We out.